Okay, 8th grade math. Today we are doing Bell Work Week 14, day 1 and 2. We're also going to work on lesson 14 problem set on this video. And then after that, we're going to work on our lesson 15 notes. So I wanted to go through this Bell Work with you. You should have your Bell Work worksheet with you on your desk. I should have given you that when you walked in. And you're going to fill out your Bell Work with what I'm saying as well. So we're going to get into slope. Slope is a fancy word for how steep is a line. You can talk about how steep a line is with a certain number, and that's what slope is. So day 1, we're going to write slope is rise over run. So that's your bell work. Day 1, you need to write that in. Day 2, it says m equals. So slope, you don't need to write this on your paper. I'm just going to kind of go over it. Slope is the letter m. So anytime you see m equals, that means what is the slope? And I told you slope means steepness of a line. How steep is the line? So if you look at this line, you're trying to figure out how steep it is. You want to go from one point to the next point and give it a number. So you always want to start on the left side of your graph. There's 2 points here. You want to start on the graph or the point that's way closer to the left side than the other one, which would be this point down here. What we want to do is we want to count the rise over the run. And there's little boxes there. That's how I know how to count it. So I'm going to count, and I'm going to count my rise first. Slope is always going to be written as a fraction. The top number is how far up you have to go from one point to the next. So I'm going up 1, 2, 3, 4 different spaces, which means my rise is 4. Then I have to go over 1, 2, 3. So the slope of this line is 4 over 3 because I had to rise 4 and I had to run 3 to get to the next point on my line. So your answer for day 2 is 4 over 3. Remember, I went up 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I noticed, oh, I'm on the same line as my other point, so I can stop. Then you have to figure out what your run is, so you count over 1, 2, 3, and that's where the 3 comes from. That's your bell work for day 1 and 2. This is Tuesday, so you need to make sure those are written in. And you need to go ahead and grab your Module 4 Lesson 14 homework. It says practice problems at the top. There are only 2 questions on this homework assignment. So we're going to talk about it really quickly, and this is very similar to what we did in class yesterday when we learned about vertical and horizontal lines. Okay, so this first one says graph the linear equation y equals 7. It tells me what y equals. So I'm going to go underneath y and I'm going to put 3 7s. I can't put anything else under y because it tells me y has to be 7. It doesn't tell me y is 10 or y is 11. I have to put the number y or 7 underneath y. Now my x, it doesn't tell me anything about x. It never says what x has to be. So I get to pick whatever I want for x. It just has to be on this graph somewhere. I typically always am going to choose like 1, 2, and 3 because those are pretty easy numbers. You can pick whatever number you want on x. It goes from -10 to +10. Okay? And then I'm going to graph these 3 points like ordered pairs. So the first one is 1, 7. So I'm going to start at 0, 0 on my graph. I'm going to go over 1, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm going to make a point. And I'm going to move on to my second one, which is 2, 7. I start back at 0, 0. I go over 1, 2, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I make a point right there. My last one is 3, 7. So I'm going to go at 0, 0 over 1, 2, 3, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you should connect these 3 points, and you could use a piece of paper, you could use your planner, you could use a straight edge or a ruler, but you want to make this line nice and neat because we are drawing a line. It should look like a line. You'll connect your 3 points, and what you notice about those 3 points is that this is a horizontal line. Okay. The next one is very similar, but instead of saying y equals, this one says x equals 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down on my x letter, and I'm going to put 1s. I can't put anything else other than a 1 on x, because it tells me that x is equal to 1. But what I can do on y is whatever number I want. Remember, it goes from -10 to +10, so you should not choose anything bigger or smaller than that. I always choose 1, 2, and 3. So now I'm going to ask you to graph these 3 points on your own. So I want you to push pause on the video right now. Graph these 3 points. Okay, I'm going to graph these for you. You need to check your work to make sure you are doing it the same way I did it. If you didn't, just fix it with your pencil. So I'm starting at 0, 0. I'm going to go over 1, up 1, make a point. I'm going to go back to 0, 0, over 1, up 2, make a point. My last point is 1, 3, so I'm going to start at 0, 0, go over 1, up 3, make a point, and then you need to connect your 3 points with a straight line, whether that's with a ruler or your planner or another piece of paper, something. But this one is a vertical line. So remember from our lesson yesterday, if it says x equals, it's going to be vertical. And on the other one, if it says y equals, it's going to be horizontal. When you finish this video, you need to put your Chromebook away so that I know that you're ready to move on to the notes.